not really an actor person.
Hey crew, everybody ready to review Little Women today? Oh. Okay, get a day off. Bye guys.
Guys, where's Jeff?
Kidz Review Crew! Welcome back to Kidz Review Crew.
Today, we are reviewing Little Women.
Little Women is about 4 sisters that come of age in the aftermath of the American Civil War.
Little Women stars Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, Florence Pugh, and Eliza Scanlon. Let's get started.
Welcome back, ladies. So we just finished watching Little Women, and I'm excited that you guys invited me here. I feel like I'm much better qualified to be doing this review than our usual host. So first question is, have any of you read the book? No.
I read the book.
Yeah.
And it was I could see how this stuff related to the book. Like, I remember this one scene. I'm like, I remember the name of the chapter where that happened. But then a lot of it, since it kind of takes place in the past and the future I'm like, but that wouldn't have been possible because this and this happened in the book, so that doesn't make any sense. So I feel like it was a spin-off and not exactly, even though some scenes were like spot on, like that's exactly what happened, others were like, well, that would have never worked out.
Age-old question, which is better, the book or the movie?
Book.
Good answer. So have any of you ladies ever seen any of the other Little Women movies?
No.
So for most of you, this was pretty new and pretty fresh.
Yeah.
So the movie is about sisters and a sisterhood, 4 sisters together. Do any of you have sisters?
I wish.
I do.
Journey, how many sisters do you have?
I have 5 sisters,
Yeah.
and including me, it would be 6, and I have 1 brother.
It's a lot of sisters. It's a lot of sisters.
Wow.
And Sabrina, you have sisters?
I have 1 sister.
I have 2 sisters. And as a sister, how did you guys relate to the movie? Did you feel that you related differently to it than others might?
I relate to the movie because it really connected with me because I have an older sister and just being with her, we're really connected together and we're really alike. And no matter what, I know she's there for me, just like the sisters in Little Women. And I feel like no matter what challenges in the movie happened to the girls, they always stuck together and family was like kind of their home and they always could fall back on them. And that's my connection with my sister.
The fighting, it wasn't me and sisters, it's like me and my brother. I could relate to that part, like the arguing, the fighting, the revenge, the getting back at, the screaming, the ripping,
How did you guys feel about the storyline? It didn't go linear. It was kind of back and forth.
It was really confusing for me.
Yeah.
Like, especially me, I think, because I kept asking, like, what part is this? Because I couldn't tell if this was past tense, present tense, or, like, in the middle. So, yeah, it was really confusing for me.
It kind of like jumped around a bit. I feel like there should have been this one transition scene where you know it was like going to the past, like maybe it was just like, I don't know, some kind of you zoom in and then suddenly you zoom out and that means like, oh, we're in the new era instead of just like, boom, like this girl just suddenly we're in a field and now we're in a train.
So do you think that the confusion took away from the movie for you, or it was just...
Yeah, a little, because they only did it for the first part. At the bottom of the screen, they said 7 years ago, but then for the rest of it, it was just like, boom. Like, the only way I can tell for that they jumped back in time was when she cut her hair.
Right.
Yeah, and I also couldn't tell, like, this one part where one of the sisters fell asleep, and I couldn't tell if it was a dream or if it was if it went in the past. which was really confusing.
I felt that too.
I feel like it's also all the camera angles, they were really similar to each other, so you couldn't really tell, as Sofia was saying. But the way I noticed it was their costumes were like really different in each scene, and you could tell that the actors were younger, but it was really hard to follow along. I feel like you just had to pay attention to it, because at some aspects they were like dancing and they were in the middle of something, and then they went back to like the sister lying in the bed. And there were some hard parts to really follow, because like the storyline didn't really make sense fully, but I feel like if you just like noticed the little things, then it was really easy.
So this movie was actually directed by a woman, Greta Gerwig, and I'm wondering, do you guys think that that makes a difference in the movie itself? Journey, let's start with you.
Yes, I think it makes a difference, because if it was a male, then it probably wouldn't like feel the same. Since she's a woman, she probably understands the movie more. So yeah.
And kind of going off of what Journey said, how like the girls would react to things in like certain ways, because like guys may not really understand, but a girl can communicate and be like, no, we wouldn't really sit like that, or we wouldn't have that reaction. We'd be more like this. And she is a female auteur, so I do believe that she can do many things.
Alexis, did you?
I think it did make a difference, because a male wouldn't really understand the movie, since they would understand it, but they wouldn't have the connection that we would have, because since this is like kind of like a feminist movie, a woman would understand the story more.
Yeah. What part of the movie did you feel makes it a feminist movie? Like, not just the fact that there's women in it,
The
but
part, like Joe was very like, I don't want to get married. Like, I think women are so undermined, and they should have equal rights. And in the movie trailer, Joe was like, oh, I'm so sick of the fact that society thinks women are only good to marry. I'm just so sick of it. And I feel like it's kind of about the girls and how they're struggling to live in a world where men are prioritized. And yeah, kind of they're trying to almost prove that they are people too, and they're not only useful to have children, you know, they are so much more.
Yeah, even Beth was talking to Lori and saying how a woman would feel when she gets married and how the men control it all.
I feel like it's also not one single part of the movie. It's like throughout the movie, they constantly keep mentioning how women, it's harder for them to get jobs, and it's harder for them to be free, and if they get married, it's still going to be the husband's kid, it's not going to be theirs, and the husband's going to be the one providing, so they say that the husband doesn't have enough money to provide. And I feel like the one main part that really stood out to me was, as Sofia said, when Joe was saying how women are more than just beauty and for marriage, that they all have minds and we have emotions and we're all human and we all have the same rights as everyone else, and they should be able to chase after their dreams like Joe did. That's why I feel like Joe was like a really good main character, and she was casted really well by Greta, because Greta's female perspective really brought the empowerment to the movie and really helped Joe's character and like supported it throughout it. And I feel like without Joe's character, the movie wouldn't be the same, because all the sisters had a different take on their situation, but Joe was like really the only one that stuck by it, saying how she wasn't going to get married. She was determined to make a difference, and in the end she did, because she's the one who decided to like use what she had from her family's wealth and do something good with it and help the other kids, and then she brought all her sisters with her.
Yeah, Journey.
I also think throughout this movie they were like, it was almost about like upper class and lower class. Like men were more upper class and women were more lower class. That's why I think this movie was more about like women rights and things like that. So, yeah.
Did you all leave feeling empowered?
I feel like I felt more empowered coming out of the movie than I did going in, because the trailer didn't really show a lot of it, even though it gave some hints about it. But I feel like this movie is a really good one to have in 2019, because we have to like aware our generations and the coming generations that it's not okay for like women to be treated otherwise, and that you can chase your dreams and nobody can tell you or obligate you to do something that you don't want to do.
So as we know from the book, the story does take a sad turn and one of the sisters does die. I'm wondering, how did you guys feel that that was portrayed in the movie?
It really
Sabrina?
took like a dark turn, and I feel like it really put a weight on all the sisters, and it really changed their perspective of everything. And having that one sister, she was a supporting character, and it was just showing, though, no matter what, the sisters' bond is so tight, and if you have something that means that much to you, you can get through anything. And it was really cool, the camera angles during it, because it showed a flashback of the sister when she first got scarlet fever, because 3 of the sisters now had it, and it showed how she got better and how she was missing from her bed, and Joe, one of the oldest sisters, came running downstairs and saw her sitting at the kitchen table. And then it showed back in present day with more like bluey gray colors, and like it was more dim, the lights, and she comes running back downstairs, and it's like the exact same camera shot in the same angle, and the mom was sitting there, and then the sister was missing, and just by the mom's reaction you could tell that something was wrong and something wasn't right. And then the mom and Joe have a really good moment, which is like a really good mother and daughter moment, which I feel is like Greta casted it really well because the characters really clicked, and the mother got really emotional, showing that she really has a touch of motherhood in her.
So I have a really important question for you guys. Which March sister are you? Journey.
I think I would be Beth, not because she died, of course not, but I am also really shy, and I love music, and me doing dance, like as a sport, there's also a lot of music, so you have to be very connected to it. So I feel like I connect with her more than the other sisters, and I can understand most of her because she's similar to me.
I love it. Love it.
I am an Amy. I am loud, very loud. I am outgoing. I am intense, and I always want to get my way. And I'm very debate-ish. Like, I will argue with anyone about anything. If they're like, Sofia, let's argue about this, I'll be like, okay, and I'll win. I love to win, just like Amy loves to win.
I like it. Sabrina?
I would say I'm a Joe, because Joe really takes care of all her sisters, and you can really see that. A lot of the sisters are really clueless when they don't know that they're actually hurting Joe, and the fact that like I wouldn't be an Amy is because Amy gets really angry easily if she's not included in a bunch of the sister stuff. As we see, like, she burned a lot of Joe's hard work, and I feel like I would get really upset just like Joe did. And Joe's actually strong enough to the point where she would cut off her hair just to protect her family and to help her mom and help contribute to her family, and like just do anything.
Alexis, who are you?
I feel like I'm a mix between Beth and Meg, because Meg loves children, and I like hanging out with children, even though you have to be patient sometimes. I do love hanging out with children, and sometimes I can be shy.
We are at the point in our episode where you guys get to tell me what your ratings are on this movie. Ratings are 1 to 5, 1 being awful, 5 being amazing. And what are we gonna rate it out of this week? Ideas?
Flaming pages!
Books!
Books. Books it is. Journey,
Yes.
how many books are you gonna give Little Women?
I would rate this 3.5 books because I didn't like the transformation that they made from scene to scene. It wasn't the greatest, but I did like the storyline, how they got it from the book. So, yeah.
I would rate it 4 out of 5 books, because I really enjoyed the movie. I really liked the storyline, even though time periods aren't really my sort of thing. I could really connect to the characters, and it's really important to aware people in this generation how women empowerment is still a thing today, and how some women aren't being treated equally as men. So I really enjoyed it. I liked the camera angles, I liked the characters. I would only give it 4 out of 5 because some of the transitions, as Journey was saying, was really confusing, including the flashbacks. So yeah.
Alexis, what would you rate it?
I would rate it a 4 out of 5 books. Like Sabrina said, the time periods were confusing, but I really liked the story behind it and how it was about women empowerment. So yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Sophia.
Okay, so I think I agree with Sabrina and Alexis on the 4 books out of 5. I feel like, I don't know, the transitions were a bit blocky, kind of hard to follow, and it also ended up being a soap opera at the end. Like, it was just very dramatic, and I'm like, that's definitely not how the book went. The book wasn't that kind of like drama, heartache, love, breakup, tears, betrayal, you know, favorite. No, it was more, no boys allowed.
Jeff, you are not a little woman. Get out.
Well,
Ferocious.
Thanks for watching.
Make sure to follow us on social media.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Catch us in the new year. Bye.
Nobody asked what I was. It's fine.
Who are you?
Whatever. No,
Who are
it's too
you?
late now.
She's Lori. Lori for sure. Wait.
How'd you feel about Beth
How do you feel
dying?
about Beth dying?
Like, what?
It sounded
Say
like
Beth's
I was
death.
crying, but I really wasn't. I was actually
You were
smiling,
sobbing.
like-
No, Alexis was laughing.
No, because the way that the mom was crying, she was like going up and down. Like,
She's like,
it
That's
was
called
kind of,
true emotion.
but it was kind of funny.